Hi, it's Michael Urie. Welcome back. Okay, let's do this. You asked and I will answer. Questions, here they come. What is your pre-show ritual? Okay, actually, you're watching it. Before the show, I usually load on carbs. I'll have a little cup of coffee. And then, in a few minutes, Bones will come in here and put in my microphone. And then I'll stretch a little bit, play a little Candy Crush, and then I go up there and do it. Which do you prefer, performing in a television show or on the stage? Good question. Well, there's nothing quite so thrilling as a live audience, but there's nothing quite so lucrative as television. How do you keep your energy level up doing 8 shows a week? Drugs. If they were ever to have a biopic of your life, who would you want to play you? Oh, he's great. There's this great actor that I love. He's got brown hair, really handsome. He was on that show Ugly Betty. Michael Urie. What inspired you growing up to want to perform? Well, I saw a production of Peter Pan with Kathy Rigby when I was really, really young. And that was really exciting. And then I also saw a production of West Side Story when I was really young. Also very inspiring. But I have to say, it was watching sitcoms. I grew up watching sitcoms. Cheers, Who's the Boss, Facts of Life, shows like that. And those are the kinds of shows that I really would, that's what made me want to be, that's where I learned, I think, timing, and that's where I learned, like, this is how I, this is the kind of work I want to be doing, this kind of comedy, and those are the things that, I feel like those are the things I go back to the most when I'm sort of seeking inspiration from my past, my memories. Of all the roles you have ever played, whether on stage or on screen, what is your favorite and why? And then also, what is your least favorite? Well, I have to say, it's very hard to not say this role because this is such a phenomenal role, but I think we'll just cancel this one out because obviously I'm doing it right now, who knows. I got to be in the Broadway production of How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying, starring Nick Jonas, and I played Bud Frump, which I will argue to the death is the greatest role in a musical comedy ever. And I got to do it for 5 months on Broadway. It was the greatest. Hysterical part. It was an amazing production with an incredible cast, great audiences. I had the time of my life. Least favorite role, that's really hard. I mean, I guess I would have to say least favorite role. I didn't have that much fun playing Horatio in Hamlet. But I loved doing that production. I liked being in the play, I liked learning, and there was an amazing guy playing Hamlet, Hamish Linklater, so I learned a lot watching him play Hamlet, but Horatio, What's the best and worst thing about being the only performer in the show? Okay, the worst thing, I'll start with the worst thing. I get lonely. Up there, on the stage, all by myself, and sometimes back here, in my dressing room, all by myself. But the best thing about being the only person in the show is they clap for me. All the applause is this guy's. And I get my own dressing room, my own bathroom. Take a look. Nobody else uses that. Nobody. Finally, favorite scene from Ugly Betty, favorite guest star to work with. That's a two-parter from Chris Shuttlesworth. Favorite scene, I have to say, there was an episode, it's actually probably the same episode. There was an episode where my mom came to, my character's mom, played by Patti LuPone. She's probably my favorite guest star. She was incredible. Always a big fan of hers, huge inspiration. We both went to Juilliard. We had a lot of great stuff to talk about, and of course she's a legend. So she's probably my favorite guest star. In that episode, my character, Mark, convinced Betty, Ugly Betty, to pretend to be his girlfriend, like you do. And we had a scene where we created flashcards for each other to test each other's knowledge of the other. Different questions. What's my favorite boy band? What kind of hair product do I use? What's my favorite Broadway musical? To which Ugly Betty said, "Are you sure these are the questions that are convince your mother that you're straight?" Obviously. They weren't. And then her questions, what's my favorite Disney character? Oh, Mulan. What's my nephew's name? Pass. I'll never remember that. Anyway, it was a really fun scene to play, and we enjoyed doing it so much. America Ferrera and I enjoyed doing it so much that actually, and this is the only time this ever happened, when we finished shooting the scene, we were done shooting, you know, my close-up and her close-up and the wide shot. We finished all the different angles, and it was time to move on to a new scene. We were sad that it was over, and we ran through the scene one more time just for ourselves. I've never done that before or since, and it was really special. So that's probably my favorite. But then it's hard to pick because everything on that show is amazing. Every scene I had with Becky Newton, every scene I had with Vanessa Williams, we just had the greatest time in the whole world. All right. Oh, and now for the winning questions. Before I crumple this up and throw it away. 2 winners from Facebook. Lisa Bueno! And she asks, if Babs gave you free range in her cellar, what would be the first thing you'd do? Good question. First thing I'd do is try out that froyo machine. See how good the coffee flavor is. Okay, from Twitter, @Taylor_Rachel wants to know, have you ever met Barbara? No. But I kind of feel like I have. It's been, you know, like a year and a half of playing her. I sort of feel like I kind of know her. That's it. All right, next challenge. Next week, this is what I need. I need you to give me your favorite Barbra Streisand song, and I need to know why. You can't just write a title and send it in and think you're going to win tickets. I need to know the favorite song, and I need to know why, and I don't want 500 evergreens. You know what I'm saying? Thank you. Until next week. I got a show to do.